gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through if you believe it.
Hello, my little crafty monsters. How's everybody doing today? I hope everybody is fabulous. So, in today's fabulous tutorial, we are going to be talking about embossing folders. Now, a lot of you guys probably have a bunch of these embossing folders. I know you probably have a lot of them, and you don't know how to use them, or maybe, I don't know, you just probably don't have that much ideas on what to use them for. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how I use them. I'm a card maker, so those of you guys who know me will know that I make cards. That's what I do. And so these are some examples that I've made, and I've also used embossing folders for that. If you notice on the red paper how there's stripes, that was done with embossing folders, and that's to give it the texture. That's so that your paper is not just a plain flat surface. It basically gives it that texture. And so that's what an embossing folder does. So you basically see how the little clouds, you can barely see them popping out. Well, that's what that embossing folder did. It's just to give it more dimension. It's to give it character. So it's not just a white paper or blue or whatever color you're using. This is an example of an embossed paper. And what I did was I embossed it, and then I got a sandpaper and I sanded over it to kind of give it that distorted kind of distressed look. So that is basically what we're going to cover today in today's video. It's really not going to be that long, guys, so yay for you, right? But we will cover the basics, what you will need. I use a little mist of water on the paper. I know a lot of crafters don't, and some crafters don't know about it, and some crafters do. But what the water does is it basically softens the fibers of the paper, so that there is times when your embossing folder, in the back you'll be able to see this, the embossing folder kind of cut the paper. So if you were to moisten those fibers and kind of soften them up a little bit, then they won't have such a higher risk of tearing than if you just threw it in there dry like this. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started, guys. Okay, my little crafty monsters, welcome back. Let's try to bring you up a little bit so that you guys could see a little bit more. Okay, so I think we're good right there. Okay, my little crafty monsters. So what we are going to do today is we're going to be talking about embossing folders, and we're going to see exactly how they work. I'm going to show you basically what they do. Like earlier, I was explaining to you about how they make the texture on the paper, and the way it works is that in the folder itself, it has some highs and some lows, and what it does is some parts will push the paper in to these little crevices, causing it to shape into this little design, and that's what causes this paper to raise up and work that way. So let's go ahead and get started. There's different kinds of folders. There's so many different brands. Sizzix has them. Paper Studio has them. What is that one? Is it Darcy? Has them. I mean, there's so many different companies now that have embossing folders. So I have quite a few. There are also some strip ones. These strip ones are designed to just give, if you just want one side of the paper or a strip of the paper or anything, if you just want this little image to be embossed onto your card or to your project. I use these for little candy sleeves as well. And sometimes I give those away for birthdays. I don't know if you guys have seen them on my Instagram, but I have like a Minnie Mouse one, and I just did a dinosaur one where I did a candy sleeve and I used an embossing folder for that. I basically used the happy birthday one, but you could definitely use these strips as well too if you just want one little strip of embossed area on your card. So what you will be needing, okay, you will need some sort of embossing machine, like the Cuttlebug, or what is another one? I probably don't know, but what we're going to be using today is a Sizzix. I have a Sizzix, and that's what we're going to use. Okay, so you're going to need embossing folders. For me, I'm going to need a water bottle because I like to mist the paper because it softens the fibers, like I said earlier, and it has a less risk of your paper tearing because it's softened, so it's a little bit more bendable and it's just a little bit easier. So let's grab our Sizzix machine, okay? And we have the big kick here, okay? So you will need your platform, and your platform has basically 3 tabs. The first tab is basically for cutting, okay? Let's move this out of the way really quick. The first tab is for cutting. So you're basically going to use this for cutting. The second one, it's for certain cuts and certain embossing, depending if you're going to do like an impression with the rubber mat and either with a die or whatever it is that you're going to use. And we'll get into this a little bit more on a different tutorial, but for today's tutorial we're going to use embossing folders. So you're going to want the very last one, okay? And you also will need some impression mats, which are these black boards. They look almost like cutting boards, but they're not the cutting boards because they're black, and these are intended just for embossing. Okay, so you'll need these two, and you'll need your machine. Then you could go ahead and pick the paper that you're going to want to emboss. Okay, in this case I'm going to use this paper that basically is it's a white core. And what I mean about white core is that this paper is dyed on the top and it's dyed in the bottom, but in the inside of this paper it's white. And the reason why we're going to do that is because we're going to want to go for this distorted look. We want it to look, you're going to see the white show through once you've pressed this down. So we're going to lightly spray this. Okay. Well, maybe he got a little bit more wet than I wanted. Okay, Mr. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and place it in our embossing folder. Okay, we're going to put it in between. We're going to do a sandwich in between the impression mats. Okay, the embossing folder cards is what they're called, basically. Okay. And then we're going to set this on the last tab. Remember, there is no tabs. These tabs, I picked them up and I put them to the side. Well, I flipped them open, and we're just using the bottom one. Now we're going to go ahead and crank this into our machine. Whatever machine you're using, a Cuttlebug or whatever, just use it however the instructions specify on that certain machine. Okay. And then what we get here is we get the texture. Did you see that? So here's the thing. Did you notice how there is really no white showing on this paper, but on this one there is? This is the one that I put in there completely dry. I didn't mist this. This is the one we missed. It was lightly wet. So the fibers were a lot softer and the fibers were allowed to bend, whereas to these fibers were dry and hard, and when you tried to bend them, it was basically distorting the paper. So you see the difference? That's my little tip on embossing. Let's try this one more time with another paper. Let's try this guy. So we're gonna lightly mist this. Sorry, my mister is really not misting properly. So we'll put this into the folder. Is that even a word? Yes, it is. Don't judge me. So we're gonna put this in our folder, okay? And we are going to sandwich this in between the embossing folders. And we're gonna run this through our machine again. This time we're gonna go backwards. No sense in removing the cutting pad or whatever it is, this platform. Okay. And then again, a perfect embossed paper. Now you could use this on any project that you guys want. You guys, if you guys do pocket letters, you could emboss a whole paper like this, and then you'll cut it into the 2.5 by 3.5, and you would get a perfect embossed paper for like the back of the pocket letter. It just looks so classy and it looks so nice. I really like what embossing folders do to the papers. Let's try it one more time with the white paper. We'll try a different one. We're gonna try this polka dot one. This is by Paper Studio. So again, we're going, let me see if I could do this on here. We're gonna spray. Jesse, you just wet your whole machine. Look at that. I'm over here trying to show you guys, and you guys are throwing water all over me. Ugh, that is so rude. You guys wet me. Okay, so basically, well, let me kind of miss this because I think I got more on my machine than I did on the actual card. But we lightly missed it. Don't look at the puddles on my paper, guys. I lightly missed it. Don't judge me. We'll sandwich this in our embossing folder and the embossing plates. And we're going to run this through our machine. Sorry that the camera's shaking, guys. But y'all know the drill. You know the drill, guys. Okay. And there you have it. I don't know if you can see this one because it's white, but it basically made little polka dots. See? So these are the papers that you basically can do. Watch, let's do one more. I'm going to show you guys this sanding technique. Okay? Because I know you guys want to see this. Let's go ahead and mist another paper. Lightly mist. Throw it in our embossing folder. Okay. Sandwich it in between the embossing plates. And run it through our machine. Whoa, he's kind of giving me a little hard time right now. Alrighty then. So let's basically see what this little bad boy is. Okay, so let me put this aside so I could show you guys. 1 second. Okay, so now this is the paper that we lightly missed and we threw through the embossing folder. I don't know if you guys could see it. They're little anchors. So what we will be doing now, whoa, come back here, little guy. See, he got scared. Don't get scared, little man. You're just gonna look cute. Okay, so what we are going to use is we're going to use a sandpaper. You can use any kind of sandpaper that you want. If you want to use a sheet, if you want to use this block, anything you like, I do for you, right? So you can use any kind of sanding material that you want. I purchased this one at the Dollar Tree. So you could go ahead and run to the Dollar Tree and grab yourself one of these blocks. It's basically a sandpaper. They have it in the hardware department, their little hardware department. It's so cute. Okay, so basically what you're going to do is you're going to get your sandpaper and you're going to run it on top of your paper. Just lightly run it on the paper. And this is not looking very good, probably on the camera. But what it's doing is It's just distorting some of the edges. You could even pick it up and go over certain areas that you want more. And that's all basically you're doing. You're just giving it that distorted and the what is it called, and the distressed look. See? There you go. Now, if you wanted really to get creative as well too, guys, what you could do is you could see how this one is embossed in some white paper. What you could do is you could get one of your blending tools. Be very careful with this because you're going to have a chance of getting it on the bottom. But get your blending tool and just run it lightly on the top. And what it will do is it will paint the little raised part of your embossed paper. And the bottom part will stay the color that your paper is. So like for instance, this one that's a purple, you can go ahead and, is this purple? I have no idea. But anyway, guys, so what you could do is you can get like the black ink and you can just go ahead and run it through here just to give it like a little distressed black border, and then the inside of this paper will stay the same color. So there are a lot of little techniques that you guys could do with these embossing folders. You could use them for so many projects. You could use them for cards. You could use them for, like I said, candy sleeves. You could use them to do your pocket letters, your ATC cards, your MDC cards. You could just do projects like your little flip bags and emboss the paper that you're going to glue on the front. I mean, the possibilities are endless. This is giving you the ability to put texture on a paper, and not texture like ink or anything like that. This is just a natural texture. So there you go, guys. There you have it, my little crafty monsters. That's exactly how you use the embossing folders. I hope that this video was helpful and you guys get out there and start getting creative and start creating some cute little cards or even embellishments. Emboss a little embellishment paper and put it on there, give it some dimension. So like I said, I hope that this video helped you guys understand a little bit more about the embossing folders, so you guys don't feel too intimidated about these little bad boys, because they are awesome. They are awesome. You could find them anywhere at your Hobby Lobby, Michael's, or Joann's. Joann's always has them literally on sale, and they always have some on clearance. And what I noticed was, I think last month and I think this month, they still had some on clearance, which were Christmas ones. So y'all need to go run over there and grab those Christmas ones, because Christmas is coming up in a few and you guys are gonna need them. So like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video like I enjoyed making it for you guys. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button as well, and that like button, because y'all like my videos, right? And go ahead and tell a friend, guys, and see you guys next time, my little crafty monsters. Goodbye.
Gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you